Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to the pod. How are you doing today? How are you feeling? Are you feeling good? Are you feeling sad? Are you feeling sick? Are you feeling healthy? I myself am currently sick. I just got back from Ibiza and it was a wild one. It was a wild 1.5. I don't think I've ever ripped it up that hard in my entire life. Hence why I'm now sick. But today, I'm going to go straight into it. Today we're talking about first dates, the world of first dates. But before we get into that, I want to give you our controversial quote of the week with the inspiration of first dates. And that is, I'm not your free time or your second choice. Prioritize me or leave me the fuck alone. Period. Period. And honestly, I couldn't agree more. Either prioritize me or leave me alone. Stop treating me like the other woman. You know, I am not the other woman. I am the main character. Okay? If you cannot date me like I am the main character and I am the princess, then leave me alone. I don't want to know. And you should also be in that mindset too when you are dating. Okay? You are not the second choice. You are not the, I'll just hang out with you because I have a free moment. You are a priority. Remember that. You are the prize. That's it. Okay? Any man that is dating you, if you are into men, unfortunately, I am, you should be the main priority. You should be number one. They should be literally falling over their feet to take you out. Okay? So on that note, we're going to jump straight in to first dates and the world of first dates and the world of the awkward first date. So let's jump right in.
If you love me, let me fly away. Maybe I'll come back to you. Maybe I won't.
So if you're listening and you have never been on a first date, congratulations. It's not a fun place to be. You know, I feel like it's split 50-50. I have some friends who love going on first dates, and then I have other friends, including myself, who absolutely hate going on first dates. I absolutely hate going on first dates. I get so nervous. I have sweats all day. My stomach is just like not in a good place. I'm in the toilet, spending half my day in the toilet before I go on that first date. Honestly, I am that nervous. I hate them. I hate them. I feel like I have to perform. I feel like I have to be someone that I'm not, even though I know I should just be myself. But it's hard. You can tell someone, just be yourself, but I can go through in one ear and out the other. And I just don't listen. I get nervous. I'm a people pleaser, okay? When I go on a first date, I want to show them that I am the coolest person in the whole world. So I'm going to perform. I'm going to put on a performance for that person and not be myself. Whereas I have my other friends, I have one friend of mine, she's like, I absolutely love going on first dates. And I feel like you should treat, and this is what I listen to her a lot, you know, since I'm back in the dating world after me and my ex broke up nearly 8 months ago now, 7 months ago. And I feel like I'm not really ready going back into the dating scene, but I'm open to it. Like I'm not on any dating apps, for example. I'm not like actively going out of my way to date anyone. But if someone were to come into my life and wanted to take me out, I wouldn't say absolutely no way. I would be open to going on a date, but I'm not like actively searching, if that makes sense. Anyway, my friend's actively dating, which means dating apps, going out, seeing if she can get, you know, seeing what she can find, which I love that because she's going for what she wants. And she doesn't want to waste her time. And she's just like, listen, I want to get in a relationship now. And she knows what she wants. So she's dating and she's on dates and she's like, I love it so much. You know, I feel like you get to have fun with it and you meet a different guy and go on a date with them and free dinner or not if you're about that equality. But I definitely think a man should be paying on the first date, hands down. If they're asking you out on a date, they should be paying for it. She's been going on several dates and she's like, I love it so much. And I feel like dating, especially first dates, is really like working a muscle. Like the more you do them, the more easy it gets. I feel like the first time you go on a first date for a really long time, like if you've been out of the game for a while, which I feel like I have. I mean, I have dated in the past, but like I don't know, just the thought of dating again does scare me a little bit. If you're in my position right now where you're like, oh shit, like I am so nervous to go back into the dating scene. I don't know what it's going to be like. Dating culture is really weird nowadays where like it's kind of like fast fashion where you just like go on a date with them once and you get bored really easily and move on to the next one, which means that you never actually do develop like a deep connection with anyone because you're constantly like moving from person to person. But if you bring a bit of like playfulness to it, and I feel like what we tend to do as women also, which I recommend you do not do, is just go on one date with one guy from a dating app and then just like put all your eggs in one basket. I've done it before where I'll go on one date with one guy and be like, okay, that's it. That's my man. That's my man. And you kind of like mold them to fit your life when you should be dating around and like trying different things. It's like, you're not going to go to the first restaurant and be like, okay, this is it. You know, you should try different cuisines to see which one you like the most, which I do think should be done in dating. I don't think we should be putting all our eggs in one basket because I do think as women, we tend to just latch onto the first thing that we find and like, oh my God, I like him. Let's like make a whole life with him and fantasize all about him and blah, 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 blah. And if you are going to take the dating game seriously, I definitely do think try and spread the seed a little bit. Try and, you know, date several people. I know that may not sound very natural. Like it definitely doesn't for me. And I feel like as women, we definitely just like to hone in on one. But in the past, I found honing in on one guy, especially after a first date, and be like, okay, I've committed to this person now. You tend to miss out on other opportunities and someone who may actually be better suited for you. You know, that you just asked because you're like, I'm just going to date one person because I just went on one date with one person. I'm going to latch onto them now. I've seen it so many times, even with myself. We get attached easily as women, okay? We're emotional beings. We see a guy and we're like, ooh, yeah, I like him. And then we latch right on. So I'm going to tell you how my first date went. I think I went on my first date ever when I was like 14 or 13, maybe even 12. I went on a first date. I would say it was a very immature first date. I'm going to do like my first date when I was a teenager and then my first day as like an adult. I have been on a few dates, so I can't really remember off the top of my head. But I do remember the first date that I went on like as a young girl in her, I think I was 12. And I went on a date with this guy. I really, 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 really liked him. He was so cute. He was a rugby boy at school. We went to different schools. And my dad actually introduced us. We went to a friend's country house. And my dad's friend's son was the guy that I really liked. And I was like, oh my God, like obsessed. And he's still really cute. Now, I did have a little stalk a few months ago. And I was like, oh, how is he doing? Just because you want to catch up, right? Anyway, so we liked each other. I think I was 12, he was like 13. And we went to the cinema. It was really, really cutesy. We went to the cinema, however, a little bit of an issue. He forgot his money. He forgot his wallet. So my mum paid for our tickets and for our food. I mean, I had money when I was 13. I think I paid for his like popcorn or something, but my mum paid for our tickets because he just forgot his money. So that was, I mean, we were like 12 or 13, but still, you're a 13-year-old boy. You should have a little bit of pocket money, no? Anyway, I had pocket money, so I was happy to pay. But I was just a bit like, of course you left your wallet at home, 13-year-old. And yeah, so we watched the movie. He put his arm around me, you know, that classic move that the boy does. And I was like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. I don't even remember if we kissed. Did we kiss? I think we kissed. By the way, my first kiss, I think I was like 5 when I had my first kiss. So that definitely was not, I've not had like I had my first kiss. Like I kissed boys when I was like 5, 6 in the playground in primary school. We all did it. It was just like a thing. It was a thing in Portugal. But yeah, can I count that as a first kiss? I don't know, but I can't remember my first kiss. But I think we kissed in the cinema. It was cute, but then I think I got the ick. I do tend to get the ick quite easily. And I was getting the ick at 12. I got the ick. He was just too nice. And I was like, I need a bad boy in my life. And he was just too nice. So that's on me. That's my problem, okay? That's a me problem because he was actually a really, really, really nice guy and would have been a great boyfriend at 12, you know? But hey ho, it is what it is. I got the ick and I just told him, babe, it's not going to work out. So that was my first date when I was like 12. My first proper like date where I was like an adult, I'd say. I was 17 and it was actually with the guy that I lost my virginity to. He was also a virgin. I don't know if he's going to listen to this because we are like friends now. He was 21, I was nearly 18, and we met in Portugal and we had like a summer romance. Then he came to visit me in London and we spent the weekend together, and that's when we lost our virginity to each other. It was actually really sweet. I waited, he waited, and it was like super romantic and perfect. And he took me on a date. Yes, he took me for dinner in Lisbon. And he picked me up in his car. It was a big boy car because he was like 4 years older than me. I was like, oh, he's so mature. Funnily enough, I actually saw him after like years of not seeing him in Portugal this summer in the same club that we met at the first time that we met. But he was with his girlfriend and I met her as well. And it was really cute. It was like a little 360 room. I was like, oh, I hope you're well. Met his girlfriend. I was like, hope you're well. It was kind of weird, but yeah, anyway, so he picked me up in his car in the summer. I was like 17, nearly 18. And he took me for dinner at this really beautiful restaurant in Lisbon. And yeah, we drove there. It was like half an hour, 45-minute drive. And I can't remember it exactly, but I just remember it being really cute. And I was very, very nervous. I wore my mum's clothes because I was like, I didn't have any clothes. I was like, Mum, can you please dress me? She's like, okay. And I looked really cute and like sophisticated and chic. I was like, I really, really, really liked him. And yeah, it was super romantic. And then he drove me back to my grandparents' house like after dinner and he kissed me. It was like very romantic. And I was like, oh my God, this is like the movies. But I was very nervous. I was very I remember the whole day, I was literally pissing my pants. I was like shitting myself. My stomach was doing somersaults the whole day and the day before that because first dates just scare me. Even to this day, like I'm 25 now and first dates still really scare me. I don't know. I just have this whole I'm scared to get rejected, I guess. I'm like really scared of rejection. So first dates, I'm putting myself in a position of being rejected. And I feel like if you're going on a first date and you are also nervous, I think part of that does definitely have to do with the feeling of like fear of rejection. You're scared of being rejected by the other person, which is normal in dating. Like it's so normal to get rejected, but like it's scary. You're putting yourself in a position of rejection. So that's why I hate first dates, because I hate being rejected. I hate it. I want to be loved. I want to be validated. I want everyone to tell me they love me. And when you go on date, it's like, shit, I'm giving my heart to this other person. Maybe not my heart, but like, I'm putting myself out there romantically to potentially get hurt by that person because they maybe won't like me back in the same way. And I have some tips if you are going on a first date or if you are dating or if you've never been on a date. I have some tips that maybe I do not take myself, but I can give you these tips. And if you take them, I hope you use them. If you are going on a date, maybe this weekend or maybe tonight or maybe in a few weeks' time. We're just going to take a pause there and we'll be back after this break. I recommend you, number one, to take the leap and don't be scared to put yourself out there and don't be scared to say yes to a date. Like if a guy asks you out and you are that kind of person who's on like dating apps, or if you're messaging guys and you'll message guys, but then you'll actually never pull through and go on that date. My advice is what's the worst that can happen? Like, what is the worst that can happen to you if you go on that date? You go for dinner. You waste 3 hours of your life. And if you don't like them, you can literally just call up your friend and pretend you have an emergency and leave. Like, literally there's not much bad that can happen, especially if you're meeting them through a mutual friend. Like obviously on a dating app, it's a bit more scary because you don't know that person unless you maybe have mutuals in common through conversation on the dating apps. It is really scary. I know it's super scary, but please take the leap and have faith. And you never know, me telling you like take the leap and have faith and go on that date could lead you to being in a really amazing relationship, which is maybe something you've always wanted. But if you don't try, you'll never know. If you don't go on that date, you're never giving a chance to like the universe or God or whatever to give you something nice, potentially. I mean, it could go bad, but it also could go good. And I think another tip when it comes to dating is to think positive. Like try and be positive when it comes to dating. I feel like dating can be a really negative place. It can be very harsh. It can be very triggering as well if you've had bad dating experiences in the past. And I feel like, yeah, it can be a dark place out there, the dating world. But I feel like if you try and go into the dating world with a positive mindset, you might be met with positivity back. If you see the world with the glass half full, you'll be met with the glass half full. Like the world will meet you how you view the world, I'm trying to say. I think if you go into dating, and especially on a first date, being positive about it, having no expectations. So I think I'll go into that as my third tip. But like just be positive, just be playful with it. Be light with it. Don't take it too seriously because at the end of the day, it's just a date. Like it's literally just a date. It's not that serious. You're going to go on plenty more dates in your life, most likely. Sorry to break it to you, but the guy that you go on a date with probably won't be the love of your life. And if he is, that's amazing. But he probably won't be. So don't put so much expectation on yourself into thinking, oh my God, is this my husband? Because realistically speaking, if you're 20 years old, the maths is not going to be mathsing for you right now, okay? If you're dating and you're 20 or 21 or 22, most likely that's not the love of your life. If it is, amazing. Let's be positive, okay? Actually, no, let's be positive. Maybe he is the love of your life. Maybe he's the Prince Charming that's going to sweep you off your feet. But statistically speaking, he won't be. So just enjoy it. Literally just take it for what it is. Go on a date, get conversation with someone, get to know someone, and also exercise your dating muscle. Because if you don't exercise your dating muscle, you're not going to get comfortable with things like rejection. And rejection is so normal in life. And the more comfortable you get with it, the more comfortable you're actually going to get with yourself. And I feel like dating is also a really good opportunity for you to get to know yourself. What do you like? What do you want? The more guys you date, the more you're actually going to refine what you actually do and don't want in your dating life. If you just go on one date, you don't really know what else is out there. Whereas if you date a few people over time or whatever and go on those dates, you're getting to know what you want and also what you like as a person. Like, do I like guys who are ambitious, or do I like guys, or I liked that date with that guy the other day, but I don't like what he said about, he was talking about money a lot and I don't like guys who talk about money all the time. Maybe the next date that I go on, I'll date someone who doesn't talk about money and only talks about, I don't know, hobbies and like what they like to do with their time, and also about, I don't know, the news or politics or talking about you. Oh, that's another tip that I would give you. Listen to see if he asks questions about you. I think this is so important going on a date with a guy, because you're going to realize if he's actually interested in you or if he's a narcissist and just wants to go on that date to talk about himself. I've seen it before where I've been on dates with guys and all they talk about is themselves. They never ask me any questions about me. And that just comes to show to me, it's like, you're literally on this date for yourself. You're literally dating yourself on this date. Like, you love yourself so much that all you want to talk about is yourself. They don't actually want to get to know you. So when you go on a date, really take into consideration, are they asking me questions? If I ask them questions, are they asking me questions back? Are they interested in my life? So important. Another tip for dating. If you're going to go on a first date, do you sleep with them or not sleep with them? Honestly, it's so personal. Like, I feel like if you have an insane connection with that person and you feel like you want to sleep with them, it's so personal. I can't tell you what you can and can't do and what feels right for you and what doesn't feel right for you. If you meet that person, you're like, fuck it, I want to sleep with them. Like feels right for me in this moment, then do it. But if you do want to get to know that person more and you, for example, don't want to bring sexuality into the picture quite yet because you want to get to know them, their personality more, then maybe hold back a bit and maybe wait until the next date. But I don't have an issue with sleeping with someone on the first date. I don't think you should also restrict yourself either. But I have found it in the past where if I really am taking this person seriously, I usually do wait to sleep with them. If I'm not that interested in them, I tend to not care as much. Take that how you will. But it really just depends on you. Again, I'm not here to judge. And I feel like if you feel like you can get to know that person better by sleeping with them, then go for it. Have fun. Also, dating doesn't have to be dating to marry. You know, you can just date just to have fun. You know, I'm in my mid-20s. Like, you're probably listening to this and you're in your mid-20s or early 20s or maybe a teenager. You don't have to date to marry either. You can date just to have fun and have a good time. And it doesn't have to be that serious. Don't take it too seriously. Life isn't that serious either. We're literally on a floating rock flying through space. I think a first date is not that serious. Okay. We're not that important in this world. So I think the more you have fun with it, even, the more you might actually come out with a really genuine, nice connection. I feel like the more pressure you put on things, the more they run away from you. If you put so much pressure on yourself to find love, so much pressure on yourself to find a husband, sometimes it does turn out that you don't end up finding it because you're putting so much pressure on finding it that you're putting so much pressure on the universe. You're like, I want it, I want it, I want it. And when you're chasing something, usually it runs away from you in the opposite direction. So what I would say is if you are looking to settle down, you are looking for marriage, or you are looking for a serious long-term relationship, okay, we get it. You want it. Now let it go. Let it go. Go on the dates, but stop expecting it to be the love of your life. Because if you keep going into dates with that expectation of they need to be the love of my life, oh my God, they need to be my husband, oh my God, I hope that they're my husband, you're putting a lot of pressure on yourself. And not only are you putting a lot of pressure on yourself, but you're putting a lot of pressure and expectation on that other person to be perfect. And no one's perfect. No one in this world is perfect. You're not perfect. I'm not perfect. The guy you're going to go on a date with is not perfect. The girl you're going to go on a date with is not perfect. Let go of expectation when you are going on a first date. I think that's my final tip. Just let go of any kind of expectations. And honestly, in my own experience, the less expectations I have had, the better things have gone. The more surprised I have been at that experience, you know, even with holidays, even with like friendships, like the least you expect of people, the more that they will pleasantly surprise you. The more expectations you put on people, the more they will disappoint you because you're putting up these barriers in your head of that person. So I think no pressure, have fun, get a free meal out of it or whatever. Personally, I'm not the biggest fan of first dates, which are a dinner, because I do feel like that's so much pressure. I'd say for a first date, maybe start with like a walk in the park or maybe go to a fun fest. Do something like an activity instead of like a sit down dinner if you are someone that really, really hates first dates, because you can actually focus your energy on the activity rather than the person. And you can like, if you are really nervous, you have something to kind of like focus on, like if it's bowling or if it's mini golf, like you can focus on the mini golf and less on them. Whereas if you're literally sat at dinner, you're facing someone, you're eating, and eating makes me anxious. So I'm like, do I have something in my teeth? And it's happened in the past where I've had spinach in my teeth and I've gone to the toilet and I found spinach in my teeth and that spinach has been in there for a while. No one's said shit to me. And then for the rest of the evening, I am like so self-conscious. I'm like, oh my God, this guy's literally just sat in front of me with spinach in my teeth, hasn't said anything. It's like so embarrassing. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm never going to see this man again because I just can't live with myself at this point. So go and do an activity. Go to a roller coaster theme park if you like roller coasters. For me, that would actually probably be the coolest first date. If a guy were to take me to a theme park on a first date, that is sick. Like, because then I can just have fun on the rides. And I feel like when you've got the adrenaline of the rides as well, you kind of like forget that you're on a date because you're just like scared for your life on the ride. And it's just fun and playful. And that's how dates should be. They shouldn't be serious. It shouldn't be like interviewing someone for a husband. That's not how it should be. And if that is the mindset that you have and you haven't found your husband or a long-term boyfriend yet, maybe reconsider what you're doing on those dates and how you are thinking before you go on those dates, like the mindset that you have before you go on those dates, because you could be going in with a completely wrong mindset and you should be going in with a lighthearted, like, let's just see, let's just vibe, let's just have fun. Dating is supposed to be fun. And I feel like we've lost that somewhere along the way. You know, getting to know new people, how fun is that? I love meeting new people. But the moment you put it in a romantic setting, everyone freaks out. Everyone's like, oh my God, husband or long-term partner. Why can't we just be like, we'll see? No expectations. Let's have fun, because that is what it's supposed to be. So I hope if you do go on a first date that you have fun with it. Just have no expectations. Just be like, what I would say is before I go on that date, I'm probably going to be like, this could be the worst date I've ever been on in my life, but I'm going to go on it just for the hell of it. Could be the worst date ever. If you go in with that mindset of like, this could be so bad, this could be just a terrible date, at least you're going in with low expectations and then you're only going to be surprised. Whereas if you go into that date and you're like, oh my God, this could be the love of my life. Oh my God, this could be my husband. Oh my God, I hope he's this and I hope he's that. And I hope he better be like this and he better be like that. Instant disappointment. If you're expecting so much of someone that you barely know, instant disappointment. So yeah, personally, I went on a date a few days ago just to like round it up, to show that I'm also not perfect. I went on a date a few days ago. I loved it so much. I had the best time ever. Yeah, it was great. But then I got scared and I was like, oh, feelings. Don't like that one. Don't like that one at all. Let me just sabotage that, just a sprinkle in there to protect myself. Because at the end of the day, you pull away to protect yourself because you don't want to feel vulnerable. Try not to do that. I'm trying myself, but try not to do that. Try and let go and enjoy the adventure of dating. Even if he's not going to be the person you're going to be with, let's not put too much pressure on it. Let's have fun. Let's be mindful. Let's be cutesy. Let's not be serious. So I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, please share it on your Instagram story if you really liked it and you want other girls to not be scared to go on first dates and to really enjoy it and to take the bull by the horns and just enjoy and have fun. This is the whole point of dating and life, is just to have fun. Spread the love. I love checking my DMs and seeing what the girlies are saying about the pod. So if you did love this episode, send me a DM. Tell me how you liked it and rate the show, review the pod, and subscribe and follow if you did like it. But yeah, I will see you in my next episode. I love you so much and keep dating. You got this. You'll find him one day, but don't put too much pressure on it. I love you. Bye.
Maybe I won't.